Yeah, seat time. And I talked to Tyler Reddick yesterday a little bit, and he was like, when the opportunity jumped up to get in a TA2 car, he's like, why not? I mean, these cars he's having more fun in these cars. He said he loves it. He loves the series, and he'll probably be back.
Yeah, and we pointed out from Mid-Ohio a couple of weeks ago that these aren't just the guys making up the numbers who need track time. These are the guys who are basically contending for the championship in Xfinity. So we've got the likes Matt Tifft and Riddick, as you mentioned. Chris Bell, who is leading the championship. He won't be racing, though, although he started the weekend thinking he was going to do some Trans Am again.
Yeah, and looks like Scott Heckert will be filling that seat. Not sure why he won't be in, but I think Scott jumped at the opportunity when he saw the rest of the guys having so much fun over here.
Well, we're just waiting for the cars to come out, and we hope you'll enjoy what should be a fascinating. You're looking down at the front straight here at Road America, a big hill up the front straight and then into this turn one, the right-hander, and we'll take you around the course as we see it. There's the hill I'm talking about. This is the last corner here at Road America, and so really this is the place, and Buffamonte summed it up brilliantly yesterday when he said this is where we let the ponies out, because literally this is where a horsepower track, there's 3 very long straights, including the one we're looking at here, and this hill we're looking at, which is the main straight here at Road America. So I think it's sort of almost made for Trans Am, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's a crazy sensation when you're flat out going up up that hill. The car gets a little light. It's a lot of fun, and everyone motor-wise is so even. It seems like the Dodge and the Chevys have a little more torque, but the Fords have a little more horsepower at the end of the straightaway. So I think it'll be interesting to see what fares better during the race.
So in that respect, let's go back to that, because that's an important point. So we're looking at Ford versus Camaro. That's certainly how the championship is. So in that respect, how would you run it if you were in a Ford, and how would you run it if you were in a Camaro, given what you just said?
I think the Fords can rely on a little more the end of the straightaway. So if I'm Buffamonte, I'm saying, okay, I've got a little bit of advantage on the back end. Whereas like Rafa would say, okay, I really got to get off this last corner, turn 14, so I can have the momentum at the end of the corner. So it's a different mindset for each driver.
Yeah, I've seen so many different races here, from 2 wheels to 4, and there's some very distinctive places where the drive you get out of turn 3, for example, is key. And like you say, at the bottom of the hill out of turn 14 to get back up the hill, 2 really important places. And if you get stuck in the mud or you go a little wide and miss your apex, it can ruin a lap here and actually ruin a race here, because I've seen races won and lost literally in the run up the hill.
Yeah, and I mean, look at this track. If you're looking at the map, these long straightaways, it takes a lot of time if you mess up a corner to catch back up. So I think everyone's really going to have to be on their A game today.
I was talking to Alini Cipriani in TA3, and she'd never raced here. And she's in the Ginetta, of course. She'll be out later on. But she was saying that the one thing she liked about Road America is that it just doesn't suffer fools. And I think everybody, to a man and a woman, says the same thing about this place. It is full on concentration. One mistake and it's all over. And we've actually had a situation with Ernie Francis Jr., who will be in TA, and actually we're waiting to see if he comes out in TA2 as well, because he's trying to do both championships. But he had a big off in practice, some oil down from a previous runner, and had a big off here. And yeah, if you get caught out here through the kinks, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, watching that replay is, I'm glad he's okay, because that was a pretty gnarly wreck.
Well, as you can see, cars out on track. Doug Peterson had a great run, and I'm glad to say I did see the 44. That is Ernie Francis Jr. Out there. This is our 46th appearance at the National Park of Speed that is Road America for TA2. The Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge. This will be an 101.2 mile race to be exact. But for old time's sake, it's basically 25 laps of this iconic circuit. There's the pace car. Now, Jake, you were doing this job last year, and I don't fancy that, to be honest, because there's a lot of horsepower behind you. It's one heck of a track, 4 miles in all, one of the longest on the series. I would have thought it's a bit of a daunting task.
Yeah, and it rained.
Oh, nice. And so you're on road tires as well.
Yeah, and talking to a lot of the guys, it's kind of funny because if race control says you need to go this fast, and then the guys are like, well, I'm in between gears. Can you go faster? And you got to listen to race control. So it's you can have a couple guys mad at you every now and then, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun in the rain here to get out there with that car. So.
Yeah, we had some rain earlier in the weekend. Thankfully, as you can see, it's not particularly bright this morning, but it is about to dust off. I've been talking to the locals here in Wisconsin, and they say it's going to be a fine day here. So that's good news. And I think we should get some good racing in here. We've got a full hour or just over of racing to come. The championship very much in the balance with Rafa Matos, an 18-point lead over Tony Bufamonte. Bufamonte, two-time winner here, won in 2016, was second last year, and Jordan Bupp. But the man I'm looking at, that's the top three, the man I'm looking at this weekend, Scott Lagacy, is another guy who isn't really in contention, but he's the man on form at the moment.
Yeah, he's not quite in contention, but he could be. He could be. We're not so far out that he couldn't. I think he's sitting sixth or seventh, eighth in the championship. But with a win here and some bad luck on someone else's part, he could be right there. So, and I know he is really itching for a win after the last few races.
So Mike Cope Racing, a huge contingent here, and of course led by Tony Bufamonte, and he was really saying how much he was enjoying having fun with the youngsters that have come from Xfinity and actually being quite generous, helping them out, learning the cars and so on. You said that's a little bit more generous than I would be.
Yeah, no kidding. He's running for a championship, and these guys are,
taking points off him.
Taking points away.
Well, that's what I was surprised about when these guys came in at Mid-Ohio, was that they genuinely take championship points, even though this is not a bit of fun, but even though this is not their focus for the year. Xfinity is what they do. They're still going to pick up championship points, and you can see there's still a little bit of mist out there on the camera lenses, but humidity will burn off, we hope, and we'll get some clear racing. So that Corvette leading them round. Good, strong field of TA2. And let's just talk about the specs. Effectively, it's not a one-spec series, but these guys are they're all at 500 horsepower, right?
Right, yeah. And like I said, these cars are so even. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, the torque and the top end of the Mustangs, I don't know. I'm thinking Tony.
You think Bufamonte?
I'm thinking Bufamonte.
That's interesting.
I think he knows this track. He's won here, and like I said, going into a track like this with the confidence that he has, I think he's the guy.
Forming up as they come up the hill. The green flag waves. We're away here at Road America. Good start. Great start from Rafa Matos on the outside of the track. Let's see what he does. He'll probably get bumped as they go into the right-hander. Really good clean start, and they all dive in. Bufamonte slotting in the 34 on the inside into fourth place as they head down the hill for the first time. Good start from Matt Tift, the man from North Carolina, just holding off Matos for now, but Matos side by side as they go through turn 3 and now down the long straight for the first time. And this is the first time as they head through the woods, Jake, that we'll see this horsepower in full flow.
Yeah, and Rafa was smart there. Get behind Tift, get a good run, and try to outbreak him. I don't think he's quite close enough yet, but those things are fast down there.
I'm going to say, coming into turn 4, tight left-hander, down through the gearbox. You can see the flames flying, the crowd loving that. This is one of the great places to watch at Road America. And Bufamonte in, 5th place at the moment. Not a good start. Good start from Keith Prochik as they head up the hill now and down towards the carousel for the first time. Get the feeling as Rafa Matos does pick up the lead. Whoever does lead at the end of the first lap has got a great advantage here. Teammate Peterson, Doug Peterson, who had a 5th place last time out at Mid-Ohio, doing very well early on.
Yeah, as long as I think that was Rafa's plan. Get out in front and put as much distance between everyone else and himself as possible.
There's Tim Gray. Good to see him. I had a chat with him yesterday. He damaged that car at Detroit, or was basically hit by another car at Detroit. So he's been out. He did a few rounds in Florida at the beginning of the season, did Sebring and Homestead, and is now glad to be back in the Trans Am Series as they head into the carousel for the first time. I said, "Why'd you come back here?" He said, "It's Road America. Of course I'm going to race here." So we'll be keeping an eye on him. And of course, Ryan Companies, the Ryan Companies Muscle Car Challenge. Great to have them on board as we dive through the woods. And now down to the back of the circuit. It's a wonderful place to go racing. And a great place for the fans too, because there's so many good little perch places where you can lean over a hill and watch these guys go underneath, or stand at the top of the hill and watch them roar by. There's the 00. There's one of the Xfinity boys in the number 24. That's Brandon Jones. He was raced also at Mid-Ohio. And there's Ernie Francis Jr. somewhere mid-pack. And Ernie kind of just biding his time, I think, in TA2. He's just joined TA2. So we get a full course yellow early on. And not quite sure what caused that yet, but they've all slowed right down again. And Rafa Matos, though, has got the start he wanted. Ernie Francis Jr. still in the top 15. He's, 14th place at the moment. Honeywell, Project got a bad start. And there's damage. There's a lot of damage. Well, it would look good on a train if he was trying to get some cattle out of the way. It got or a snowplow. Yeah, it would be good in the winter here at Road America, but not right now in the middle of summer.
Not sure what happened there. The whole splitter.
Yeah.
It's like he almost went backwards over one of the rumble strips, and it pulled the splitter up.
Well, it's certainly not going to be very conducive to going fast, that's for sure. So, the Corvette back out. Pacing car. The pace car now, and now in these conditions early in the morning, it's a little cooler than it would be in an afternoon race, so they've really got to keep these tyres up to temperature now. This is a long track, 4 miles in all, and you can imagine if you do 2 laps under safety, you're going to be worried about the restart, aren't you?
A little bit. It's still pretty muggy out too, so it's not like it's 50 degrees where there's a lot of worry. So, but I'm sure it's definitely in the back. It's always in the back of your mind, especially Rafa and Tift, those guys up front. That's something you got to think about on restart, because 1 lap, 2 laps, cold tires, definitely something to think about.
So Matt Tift in the number 26, the man from North Carolina, in second place behind Rafa Matos in the 88, the man from Boca Raton, Florida, and of course originally from Brazil. Jordan Bupp in third place. Bupp, of course, a winner at Indianapolis, almost by default. I think it surprised him he won there, because there was so much attrition, so much drama in that race. Matos thought he'd won it, but jumped the start and also had a technical infringement after the race. Then there was others. Buffamonte got in trouble as well. He thought he'd won, came into winner's circle and was sort of shooed away. And then out of it all, Jordan Bupp took the victory, and that's what's put him in third place overall, and now third place on the road right now in this race here at Road America.
Yeah, and he's kind of been silently just back there. So if anything goes wrong with Rafa or Tony, he's going to be right there to reap the benefits. So he's sort of in a cool spot where, he's running well. He's about 80 points out of the championship, but 80 points in 2 races, I mean, that can be made up very quickly.
Well, and also talking to Buffamonte yesterday, I was kind of egging him on a little bit, because I was like, you're not going to let this guy run away with it, are you? And he kind of smiled. He went, you know what? This track and the tracks coming, Watkins Glen's, VIR, and even Daytona, these are good tracks for us, tracks where I'm confident with the package we've got. So I just get the feeling that Buffamonte's confidence now, even though Matos has pretty much dominated this championship this year, feels as though if he can get a good result today, he can take this championship to Rafa and take it all the way to Daytona.
And the thing I like about Tony, every time you talk to him, he's calm.
Yeah,
he's very calm.
What are you saying? Rafa isn't calm?
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's Brazilian. That's okay.
That's true.
He lives his heart on his sleeve. It's all good stuff. But yeah, no, you're right. And very different ways of going about it. And of course, Rafa. Buffamonte, he's been doing this championship for a long time and has got probably more experience than anybody. He is the archetypal Trans Am man, whereas Rafa has come from single-seaters and is learning his way. But of course, most single-seater guys love this because it doesn't necessarily involve the precision that you would in an Indy car, let's say. But these cars, and I think it was one of the drivers yesterday who said it, you have to drive these. Green flag is waving as they come up the hill. We're racing again in Road America. Good start from Rafa Matos. He pulls away at the start and heads down towards the first corner again. Rafa Matos in the three-dimensional services. Camaro leads the way. Tift in second place. Jordan Bupp in the Mustang right there in third position. The 00 of Ty Majeski, we haven't mentioned him. Another North Carolina entry, one of the guys that's racing in Xfinity. He's in fourth place in the all-orange 00. And Buffamonte's dropped back a bit. There he is on the 34 on the outside, hung out to dry. He's alongside Ernie Francis Jr. right now. So a big loss for Tony Buffamonte, having bigged up him in the last couple of minutes. He's got some work to do as Rafa picks up the lead again as they head down towards turn 4.
I'm not sure if he spun his tires or something on the restart because he fell back.
Whoa! We got an out of control 25, and whoa! That was a big move. I don't know what happened to Goikenberg there, but he just suddenly started going sideways under braking, and whether something broke on the car, I don't know, but that was a right mess.
Really good save by Ty Majeski.
Yeah, no kidding.
He almost got caught up in it.
Just kind of looking at the other driver coming through his windscreen at the moment, but in that incident. Now, there's the 34, there's Buffamonte. Francis Jr. in the grey and black 44 just behind him. So drama at turn 4 here at the restart. And this only the second lap. Peterson up to 12 ahead of Wilson and Sheehan. Prochuk with work to do. Keith Prochuk, this is his home race too. He's from Chicago. Got a lot of friends and family. Drove up. Says he's probably done 10,000 miles around this track. He's done track instruction. He's done series here, junior series here. And now, of course, racing in Trans Am. Got a lot of debut on the track already, look.
A lot of hometown guys here.
Yeah, we do. Yep, absolutely. We've got quite a few entries from Wisconsin and, of course, Chicago just down the road. And so, yeah, a lot of guys. And, of course, it's also, it kind of brings out extra entries, I think, because everybody just loves racing at the iconic Road America. Celebrated its 60th anniversary recently. Go down to the shop here. It's a absolute festival for racing because there's so much to gather in terms of the history here. Can-Am, Trans Am, IndyCar, you name it. It's all been here. So back up the hill they come. Rafa Matos starting to build on that lead. The gap 1.084 as they cross the line for lap 3. Jordan Bupp getting a good start, and Jordan is the one actually we should keep a watchful eye on because we talk about Scott Lagasse trying to make an influence on the championship, but Jordan Bupp could put himself right in a good position here if he holds off Buffamonte down in 8th position at the moment. Yeah. Is that Matt Tifft coming in?
It is.
Wow. Matt Tifft, who was in second place, has pulled out. Or at least pulled into the pits for something. That's interesting. So we know why Goikenberg's in. He was the man who literally was sideways into turn 4. Under braking, he just completely lost it, but somehow managed to gather it enough to get it out of the way of most of the traffic. Like you say, that could have been a big pileup with so many people behind him. But
I know who liked to see Tiff come in as Bupp.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, yeah, exactly. That changes the face of this race big time. Well, we apologize again. We've had some technical gremlins attacking us through the woods here in Road America. But we can keep you up to date. We've got some fantastic graphics, doing a really good job. Lagasse, Buffamonte, 0.8 now between those two. So Lagasse is half a second behind third place and Buffamonte less than a second behind him. Ernie Francis Jr. up to 7th now. He's got ahead of Dillon. Brandon Jones, who was a big feature last time out at Mid-Ohio, he's down in 9th position. This makes it a little easier. And there is the 00 of Ty Majeski. And now you can see that battle quite clearly between 3rd, 4th and 5th place. There's your leader. There's second place. Here's third place. This is Majeski, but look at Lagasse and look at Bufamonte. Right there with him. Big gap between those chasing them. But we have a battle on our hands, folks. And in fact, the leaders have yet to get past the number 25 of Goikerberg that I mentioned just a few minutes ago as effectively a back marker, but somebody who was in the top 5, so he's not particularly going slowly, so they haven't got past him yet.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they all catch him at the same time.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Bufamonte keeping a watchful eye, but he needs to start making some inroads. Welcome back to Road America. Now you can see what we're talking about. And the 88 is Rafa Matos, who's done a really good job this season as they head up the hill. And leaders crossing the line. And Bufamonte's got to make a decision here. Does he push on and try to get back into the lead, or hold position and hope that the others don't catch up too quickly? Because at the moment they are.
I think he's going. If I'm him with 12 laps to go, now's the time.
Well, let me ask you that. In terms of tyres, that's one of the big factors. With so much horsepower, that is one of the big key strategic factors of any of these races, is when and how you use and manage the tyres. So is it possible that you can choose a time to sprint, or do you just feel it?
You can do both. I mean,
Okay.
you can obviously. Bufamonte right now is going, and I wouldn't be surprised if he passes Lagasse this lap. You can save him for a lap and then go hard for a lap. You're gauging. For me, I would gauge that off the guy I'm chasing.
Bufamonte's taking another 3/10 out of Lagasse, and like you say, he is going. But we always talk about, and I'm always interested talking to a driver, when we talk about managing tyres and saving tyres, you guys are doing all almost identical times. How do you save tyres when you're on the same lap time?
You go a little easier. I mean, that's the basic point. You go a little easier. You go from a 10 to a 9.
Gotcha.
And that can save a little bit.
Mine goes up to 11.
So no more.
Just got a quick shot of Ernie Francis Jr. in 7th place.
It's like Lagasse took off from Bufamonte a little bit.
Yep. Here comes Rafa. So they're now going through the back markers, and there's your leader. There's second place. Goikerberg is actually a lap behind them. The blue car, the number 25, just going through your shot there. Bupp is in third place, but he's got to get past the back marker. So the leader, Matt Tiff, doing a really good job so far here at Road America in our 100-mile, just over, Muscle Car Challenge by Ryan Companies. Ryan Companies Muscle Car Challenge here at Road America as they go up the famous hill here. The leaders coming through, and the gap at the moment between first and second, just over 2 seconds, 2.049 to be precise. Majeski in third position at the moment. But the question remains, will Scott Lagasse Jr. and Tony Bufamonte, Jordan Buck dropping down a little, try to catch Majeski by the end of this race? And of course, the reason we ask that is because Majeski's not a regular. He's one of the Xfinity boys. So in terms of the championship, we want to see if Lagasse can get up there and challenge. Likewise, Jordan Butt, but he's struggling somewhat in 6th place, just ahead of Francis Jr. And as you can see, the 25 just being polite and getting out of the way. How hard is it when you've got back markers and you're in your own race at the end of the day, and you're not necessarily looking in your mirrors the whole time? Do you rely on the flag marshals, or do you just kind of keep a watchful eye on your mirrors?
If you're a back marker,
Yeah.
if I was a back marker, yeah. All
Not that you've ever been a back marker.
Absolutely,
No,
never,
exactly,
of
right.
course. No, you want to be cognizant of where the leaders are, because the last thing you want to do is mess up someone's championship.
Sure.
And that, I can only
And
imagine.
payback say, yeah.
Yeah, the guilt that I would feel if I, ran into the guy running for the championship. So I think Goikerberg knows that. I mean, he's a seasoned driver, so yeah, you got to take it all. You got to watch the flaggers. You have to watch your mirrors and listen to your guys on the radio too.
I'll tell you what, I will make one prediction. I don't often make predictions, but I will say one thing. I don't think Rafa's going to settle for second place, especially given the gap. Look at the gap. He can see it, we can see it. And if he's got a chance of winning this race, he's going to take it. Look at him sliding out of that right-hander there. Beautifully done. But, yeah, he's pushing on. And he wants to beat this youngster, Matt Tifft, from Ohio. He's got Majeski just behind him, but he's got a decent gap to him. And I just got the feeling that Rafa is starting to push on now.
Yeah, but you don't want to get caught up in, you know, he's running for the championship. So, you know, it's going to be hard. I can only imagine if I'm sitting there, I'm like, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. I got to get around this guy. But you also got to take a step back and say, okay, if I burn it up or I run off the track and Buffon gets around me, there goes my points. So he's in a really precarious spot in his own head.
Yeah, no kidding. And in fact, to be honest to the leader, Matt Tifft, we might be wanting to will Matos on because Tifft is actually doing a really good job. And in fact, I think Matos is struggling to get on level turns, whereas the big battle is the one we're watching now. Now, more back markers coming into view, but this is the battle. Look at this. Majeski in third place. Here's fourth place Lagasse, and Buffon waiting to pounce if Lagasse doesn't take the chance as they come down to turn 4. Buffon right up there now. Good grunt up the hill.
Yeah, I think Buffon is probably a little bit of a priority to get around Lagasse. Because that's a points guy. Yeah. That's a points guy. Whereas,
mistake there by Lagasse. Went very wide. Yeah, Buffon putting the pressure on, and as you say, 18 points, and there's a big difference between the two men in front. If he can get in front of both Majeski and Lagasse before the end of this race, and here's one of the chances now. There's a back marker in front of both of them, and through goes Majeski. And he doesn't want to hold it back. We've got a really good finish to this race. 15 laps gone, 10 to go. Everybody weaving through the traffic now, through the woods here in Road America. Great place to come racing at the National Park of Speed as they know it.
I think Buffon got hosed on that one because Majeski and Lagasse both got around that guy, and he kind of was left out to dry.
Yeah, a little bit. And everybody weaving their way through. There is the number 95 of Scott Lagasse Jr. And like you say, this hill, it can be quite frightening because, as I say, the cars must go light as they come under the bridge there, especially with the wind coming at them.
It's quite a sensation, that and like a track like Lime Rock, when you come up the hill and the car gets light. I mean, if you've never felt it before, it's almost like being on a roller coaster. That's, I guess, the closest thing I can say.
Looking forward to going back to Lime Rock. Down towards 3. Here's your leader, the number 26 of Matt Tifft of Charlotte, North Carolina. The gap, 1.7 seconds now between himself and Matos. So Matos has done a good job of just narrowing the gap somewhat. Majeski now 4 seconds off the lead. But it looks less than that when you look at this long lens view here. And still, Lagasse and Buffon chasing him down. Flames pouring out of each of the cars as they dive into turn 4. Second gear, would you say, through here?
I think so.
Uh-oh. Well, somebody's lost his cool box and his lunch. That's no sandwiches or refreshments for that car.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, that means you've got to have got out of the window, through the net.
Or through the other side of the window.
And yeah, that's a... Maybe he threw it out, ballast.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard some sandbags have been around the track throughout the weekend, so maybe that's what those are. Well, Matt Tifft has got no such problems. He is flying at the moment, and we were saying earlier, he's had a bit of bad luck in his Trans Am runs. He's doing great in Xfinity, but his Trans Am career has just not really started, has it?
No, and after last Mid-Ohio, I'm sure he's pretty thrilled to be running up front with the Cope car.
Because he was running there, he was going to run there, he did a good job in practice, but then, I can't remember what happened, but...
motor blew up.
That's right, the motor blew up at the worst possible time, and, yep, so hopefully, for him, fingers crossed, he can turn this one into a victory here. And I don't think there's any place better when you're starting out in a championship that you're not used to than Road America to say, yeah, you know, I did a bit of Trans Am, won at Road America. That's a great little accolade. That'll do, won't it? That's a good one for the mantelpiece. Put that center.
Good little conversation piece.
A good little conversation piece, yeah. There's good bragging rights for that. So another lap completed, 8 to go. Here's your leaderboard. Tift, Matos, 1.6 seconds. Majeski dropping the gap slightly from 4 seconds down to 3.2. Bufamonte still hot on the heels of Scott Lagasse Jr. Down the hill they come. Crucial turn here. The right-hander to get onto the back straight. And you can see nothing between Lagasse and Bufamonte.
I think Bufamonte's
going for a run here. Jake, your call. How does he do this?
Right now. He's got to outbrake him here.
Into 4, yeah. That's key. Well, we're looking back at some other battles further on. And here we go. Bufamonte's got him, but Lagasse says, no, I got the inside line, my friend. Now he's going to go for a good run up the hill. Lagasse goes wide. This is another opportunity into the next corner. He's not close enough. Down towards the carousel now. Bufamonte looking for a way past. With 8 laps to go. Lagasse, another big mistake. He is Larry, isn't he?
Yeah, the harder Lagasse pushes, when you go out there and you slide, you're losing time. So anytime he gets a little squirrely off the corner, that's just an instant where Bufamonte, just like that.
Just like that. And Lagasse under pressure now. Here comes Boof. And these guys have got some history. They've been going toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel.
That's putting it
bodywork to bodywork since Indianapolis. That's putting it lightly.
Very lightly.
Fair enough. Yep. It happened at Mid-Ohio too. But Boof wasn't very happy with him last time out. We think, that is Ernie Francis Jr., the cooler.
Really?
That's parked out there. So he's the one that's going to go without the sandwiches.
I'm still curious to how it got out
in
of
all
the car.
seriousness, that's a scary thing. That's a cool box. That's a big piece of the car.
At least it's in the gravel.
Yeah, luckily for him. But, well, hopefully for the CBS show, we'll have a good look at that on the onboards. That'll make some interesting footage.
Just wondering how it got out of the car.
I'm still trying to work that out.
Usually the cool box
I can only believe it wasn't strapped in, so he's probably had it rattling around throughout most of the race. So then, on the 18th lap, the gap, 1.9 seconds. Here's your third place man in the all-orange 00 car. Whoa, Lagasse, where's he going? He almost went off to Mid-Ohio again there. But he's back to Road America, thankfully. But that was a very wide turn 1. He does like to push it, doesn't he, Scott?
Yeah, and as long as he's doing that, Bufamonte, as long as he just hits his marks and makes Lagasse not nervous, but gets in his mirror, and the mistake, you saw how much the closure was when Lagasse went sideways there, and Bufamonte really caught up to him.
Yeah, to be fair though, I mean, he's still putting in the laps, is Scott. 2:15.4, they've all dropped down. Fastest man out there is the leader, 2:15.44 at the moment. Here he is. And this has been a good performance. He took the lead after the safety car after the start. Matos got the lead from the start on the rolling start. Matos starting second, of course. And Boof, surely now, Bufamonte with 7 to go, has got to put the hurt back on Lagasse in the closing stages. And also, talking of closing in, Majeski is looking majestic. As Ty Majeski in third position, starting to make some inroads on Rafa Matos. And this is not good news, because as you can see, the championship contenders, Bufamonte and Rafa Matos, very, very close. And the one who can gain the most from this has to be Tony Bufamonte. Here's Ernie Francis. Behind him, the 77 of Dylan McAvern in the resplendently painted Liqui Moly car. And Berryman sponsored. Got some great artwork on that car. Got a good look at it yesterday. And Francis Jr., well, what a weekend. He's not going to be remembering this one well, is he?
Or he might.
He might,
He
yes.
might, yeah, so.
Oh, he's definitely getting a little leery in the closing stages. The tyre starting to go off. The gap back up to 2.4 now for the leaders. But coming down for Majeski in third. And there's no question I'm keeping an eye on that. It's less than 3. It was a few laps ago over 4. Well, Dylan pushing it out of 14. Up the hill they come now. Surely he's got a run on him. Just behind them, Doug Peterson. Francis doing everything he can to hold on as they dive into turn 1.
I would have thought he would have made a move there.
Well, this is that classic Chevy Mustang battle, and whoa, Dylan almost got sideways there, giving us a full sight of that Berryman logo. Francis trying to hold him off. This is the battle for 8th position. Francis holding that position. Here's your leader again. Time running out here, and you can tell that Matt is pushing it in the closing stages. He doesn't want to lose out, and the pack are closing the gap on him bit by bit, and we hope we'll have a really good finish to this one. And I think we're going to have battles throughout. It's going to be hard for the director to keep up with all the battles that are happening for position here. Doug Peterson diving into the left-hander. You're watching the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge here from Road America, coming down to the closing stages as we get to the business end of the 2018 Trans Am TA2 Championship. It's been a good year, dominated by Rafa Matos, who started winning at Road America and has never Road Atlanta, and has never looked back since, and has really looked as more like a champion every weekend in Trans Am. Loves this championship. Said he used to watch it growing up as a kid in Brazil and thought, I want to go at that. And now he's in the box seat to win the series overall. Very evenly matched, 500 brake horsepower Chevys, Mustangs, and Tift, Matos and Majeski.
Starting to spread out, it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit at the front, but this is a great battle here. And Francis Jr., they are, I tell you what, they're using the track, aren't they?
You got to use all the track, yeah.
No kidding. There's your leader again. The clock ticking down, and the laps ticking off as 5 laps to go. And there's, look at this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. Well, Rafa, if you hadn't felt pressure this season, you've got it now, my friend. This is going to be a cracking finish. And at the moment, Majeski looking for a way past, is as close as he's been into turn 4, back up the hill, through the gearbox, little squirrel as the rubber hits the road, and there's no question that Rafa Matos under enormous pressure now from the Mustang. This is what he feared all weekend long, isn't it?
Yeah, and the closer Majeski gets, the closer Lagacy gets, the closer Buffamonte gets. So.
And talking of close, Buffamonte's got to run on Lagacy again. Let's take a look just as they come through. Look at this. Here comes Buffamonte. Down towards the carousel. Back markers in the way. Got to be careful here. This is where it gets really tight.
Yeah, I think that that hurt Majeski there.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't help Lagacy too, because they're all weaving in and out. Oh, and in the background, where he goes, he's taken Buffamonte with him. Out goes the 34 on the back marker. That is the number 82. That's Frank Delaney. And the New Yorker has taken out Buffamonte, and that is the worst possible scenario for Tony Buffamonte, who was chasing Rafa Matos for the championship. Back markers can be a help and a hindrance, but this time you can see nothing to do with Buffamonte, quietly going through the woods on his own, and the 82 trying to get out the way, but took to the grass, and then it was all over. And Buffamonte's car, and surely will have a full course yellow after that, which should make the end of this race a little bit more interesting. And the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge has got one more twist to give us here. After 21 laps, 4 to go, and a full course yellow. We're going to have a grandstand finish, but the sad news for those chasing the championship is that Rafa Matos has managed to get through the back markers, but this man, Tony Buffamonte, I am afraid the Mustang has come to a stop here in Road America. Buff's got his helmet off and he's out. Hopefully okay, because that was a big off. And there's Delaney's car. He's going to limp back to the pits, and Buff's okay, but obviously a little shaken and probably fed up. but he's out of the car.
I'd like to see the onboard for Delaney. I don't know if he just went.
I think he just got to the grass. I think he was basically trying to get out of the way.
And that's,
he knew, and you know,
that's one of those things where
he certainly wasn't battling Buffamonte.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard as a guy getting lapped. It's, you know, do you pick a line and stay there? Do you try to get out of the way? And that wasn't a good spot to get out of the way. A high-speed corner like that, and to drop a couple wheels. That's I can only imagine what's going through Tony's head right now.
It's funny, I've seen in single-seater racing that exact scenario where you just, especially in that part of, it's all grass there. You can see, look, there's very little. There's probably, 2 inches between that white line and the grass.
Right.
So, yeah, you watch now. Look, Lagasse goes through, and look how close. Yeah, see, look. I mean, well, he took a big chunk off, but the point is he was more offline than he normally would have been at that point because of letting the others through.
I think Delaney's trouble started entering the corner.
Yep.
I think he was carrying way too much speed, and as he got in there, got a little sideways, and when he hit the grass, it just kind of shot him around.
Sideways now, that's for sure. Well, now Tiff with it all to do, and surely, and you know that Rafa Matos is thinking, I got this.
Yeah, he's he's got to get a really, really good restart and hope that he can stay in front of Tiff, because Tiff is running quicker.
Now, will his team let him know, surely, that it's Buffamonte that's out, or he'll see it for himself because he'll see the parked car, right?
Maybe. I don't know. That's a different.
Maybe you don't tell Rafa.
You don't tell Rafa, so he keeps
his head down.
Keeps his head down, keeps him going. You certainly don't want to tell a driver, hey, Tony's out, take your time, and then he could lose it more points by getting past. You know, so if I'm a crew chief, I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I'm guessing he could probably see the car if they picked it up. These angles don't give us necessarily what we can see. We know Delaney managed to get back, and they're clearing it pretty quickly. Great track marshalling here at Road America. Such experience. Many of them come back year on year to work here in the different championships.
Hopefully they get the cars off in time, go back green.
Yeah, we don't want to finish on the yellow, that's for sure, because we could have a cracking finish to this, and I've got a feeling that Rafa Matos will go for glory, because I know him too well, where he doesn't like to settle for second, especially when he's got a chance. If there's no chance, he won't go for it, but if there is just a minimal chance that he can win a race, he wants to dominate this championship in 2018, and so far he's done just that.
Rafa's got almost 100 points over Lagasse, so I don't see him being really too worried about it. But still, I would see him going hard.
Yeah, I agree. So 3 laps to go. I think we may just have a 1-lap sprint. Who knows? It was the coolest it was Ernie Francis Jr. whose cooler dropped out into the gravel, interestingly enough. Matt Tiff then leads the race from Rafa Matos. We're under caution. Ty Majeski in 3rd position, Scott Lagasse Jr. in 4th, Jordan Bupp in 5th, Brandon Jones now moving into the top 6, just ahead of Ernie Francis Jr., who under the circumstances and the weekend he's had is doing a really good job. There's his cooler box, and how it got out of the car I'll never know. And I'll tell you what, let's look forward to the onboards of that. That could be very interesting to see how Ernie lost that. I still can't work that out.
Because that thing is strapped down to the right of the driver.
And it's there to keep him cool, right?
Right.
It's a cool suit, basically.
Right, and you can see the
tube where it comes out.
The base of it even came off. So I'm not, maybe a couple bolts sheared or...
Well, and you've got to ask the question, those guys are netted in there. So was it rattling around? Did he throw it out? I mean, that would be the obvious to me, because that would be even scarier. would be to have it rattling around in there.
At least
it's like somebody throwing a suitcase at you at 140 miles an hour for about 20 minutes.
At least he went over to the side and maybe threw it out in the gravel. So
yeah.
At least he had enough sense, that not to cause a caution.
So then, we're getting down to 2 laps to go here as they head up the hill. Good crowd here already, and they were coming in. We thought we were in early, and we weren't the first here this morning.
Oh yeah, they were. I'm sure they were here parked overnight, trying to get in the gate.
Yeah, such is the love of the famous Road America circuit. They love their racing here in Wisconsin. So they're almost there. They've got to the point now where they're clearing things away. And just a reminder, the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge from Road America. Matt Tifft. Not a usual to that. Yeah, there's no question that Buffamonte knows exactly who's out. There it is. And there's your leader, Matt Tifft, one of the Xfinity. He'll be in action this afternoon in NASCAR, but he's trying to get a win under his belt here, and we've mentioned it before. He's not had a lot of luck so far, but he's leading this one. But Rafa Matos has got one more bite of the cheese here in Wisconsin to see if he can do it. Majeski, 3rd place. Scott Lagacy in 4th. Jordan Bupp, who had been up to 3rd place early on. We both said we thought Bupp was going to put some pressure on, but he suddenly sort of disappeared, got down to about 6th, and he's recovered to 5th. Just ahead of Brandon Jones, Ernie Francis Jr. in 7th place, Dylan McAvern in 8th position, another one of the NASCAR boys. Then Doug Peterson, another good run from the team over, from the 3-Dimensional Services team, and he's in 9th position, just ahead of Tyler Reddick. Not a bad scalp for Doug Peterson, that is it?
Yeah, and it also helped in all disciplines, like golf or something. When you play or race with guys that are fast,
yeah,
it brings your game up a lot of times. So I think Doug, with running with Rafa, with running these Xfinity guys, I think it's making him step up his game a little bit, and that can reveal a lot about it. That makes you learn a lot too. So really, it's good to see him running well.
Trouble is, when I play golf with guys that are better than me, they always make me buy the beers. So that's a problem.
That's why we invite guys like you.
Okay, I see how you are. So, as you can see, the Corvette peels off and we go back up the hill, and we got a cracking last couple of laps. The green flag waves in front of us here in the commentary position. Matt Tifft will lead them away. What can Matos do? And he's right alongside him. Rafa Matos of Brazil, the boy from Brazil. Here he comes, looking for the lead. And also looking for the lead, Majeski. It's a 3-way battle for the first corner. And I don't believe it, but look at this. Majeski in the 00 Newman Wax car takes the lead for the first time. Brilliant stuff at the restart. And now look at him go. Rafa Matos drops down to, 4th place. He's in all sorts of trouble now, the Brazilian. And the NASCAR boys weren't holding back at the restart. They've done this before. And now it is Majeski who's chief cheese here at the front.
Well, Tifft and Matos were there banging off each other. Majeski really.
Matos got on the mud for a second. He's lucky he didn't get into real trouble. He managed to save it. Peterson going through just behind Ernie Francis Jr. And, well, some tense moments. And that Rafa will be kicking himself. Absolutely kicking himself. Now, Honeywell's up there as well. Tom Sheehan's up there. So, guys that weren't even involved, look at this. Early on, Procheck's on there. He would love a good result too, down in 14th position. So
I think Road America might send a bill to Lagacy for the gas, for the grass.
Fair enough. Well, they've been grass cutting at Mid-Ohio, and now here at Road America. Majeski leads the way. A brilliant restart by Ty Majeski of Kannapolis, North Carolina. And look at the gap he's pulled, and if he keeps this up on this lap, he's going to do really a perfect last lap, and he's home dry. Never say that too early, though. We saw what happened here at this place last time. That's where we lost Buffamonte a couple of laps ago. That's what brought out the caution. And Majeski looking for his first win. Ty Majeski. And now can Rafa recover to get a podium? And I would have thought if Rafa doesn't at least make the podium, what a race this has been. Now back up the hill. Got to get good drive out of here. Everybody, the leaders anyway. White flag is out for our race here in Road America. Majeski from 10th. Scott Lagacy, Matos 4th at the moment. Brandon Jones up to 5th. Jordan Bupp 6th. Jordan Bupp 3rd in the championship, remember. And this is going to be a really good result for Jordan Bupp too, with Buffamonte out. It could push Bupp right into a position of challenging Buffamonte into the next round at Watkins Glen. Into turn 4 they go. Down the back straight. Tiff with one more chance for possibly Scott Lagacy trying to hold off Matos. Matos all over him. Will he make a move at 4?
He better. He's running out of
I don't think he's close enough.
He's
looking for it. Here comes Rafa. Don't use the brakes. Go on, son. And he does. Lagacy lets him through, and he doesn't use the brakes because he's gone wide. Rafa, good idea. Run application, sorry. And Rafa makes a good effort but loses another place. So Rafa is going to be spitting. Brandon Jones is the man who picked up that place from him. But out front, it's Ty Majeski. Time running out as the two NASCAR Xfinity boys, 1st and 2nd. Scott Lagacy is going to be the first of the regulars to come home after a great run. Matos still putting pressure on Brandon Jones, who just squeaked by him a moment ago. Onto the grass and dirt goes Majeski, really pushing hard now in the back part of this Road America circuit. A fantastic end to this Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge as Ty Majeski, the rookie in Trans Am, is going to take his first victory in Trans Am at Road America. Rafa Matos, who had the world at his feet just a few moments ago, his closest contender went out, but the restart also was not good for Rafa Matos. He was beaten up into turn 1, and he's never looked back and hasn't been able to get back on level terms. He's now struggling to see if he can get past Brandon Jones, who passed him after a bad move at turn 4. But Majeski heading now towards the checkered flag here. It's going to be a tight finish between the two of them, but taking the checkered flag, Ty Majeski wins the Ryan Company's Muscle Car Challenge, and he just chose his moment perfectly there in the Ford Mustang. A superb restart by Majeski, and that was majestic. Superb stuff by him. And Matt Tiff takes 2nd place, finally gets a result in Trans Am. Scott Lagacy Jr. takes 3rd, Brandon Jones is 4th, and a very disappointed Rafa Matos will take 5th after leading so much of this 101-mile race. Jordan Bupp right behind him. Dylan McIvern in 7th place. Ernie Francis Jr. brilliantly. I say brilliant because he lost his cooler box halfway through the race in 8th position. Doug Peterson, another strong 9 for the three-dimensional services man. And then in 10th place, Tyler Reddick. Well, that was a perfect restart, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was one of the a really good restart on Majeski's part. I mean, he saw them fighting and just took the opportunity and ran with it. So if I'm Rafa, well, I am not going to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I asked you the question. Is he going to make a move at 4? And you said he has to. He did. He didn't use the brakes, or it looked that way, or he braked as late as he dared.
Braked way too late, and it just pushed him out.
I've seen that so many times at turn 4 at Road America.
It's easy to do there.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, there is runoff there, and so you know that. And I think that's the thing, is that you kind of know that you've got a little bit of leeway, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the fast way. Oh, that was perfect by Ty. And the Newman Wax boys, I know how happy they were to be here. This is only their 2nd race. So they're going to be really, really pleased with that, because they had a different driver at Mid-Ohio, and that's never easy. So this is a real one-off in many ways.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the championship plays out now, because Lagacy finished in front. I mean, Rafa lost a lot of points today
Yeah, no
with
kidding.
that. And here's a
look at the start, right at the very start, and that was the first incident. That's what brought out the safety car. We had a snowplow out there with Atwell, and then we got restarted again, and that was the major incident when, sadly, the number 82 of Frank Delaney just taking out Bufamonte. Here's the restart, and a brilliant restart it was for Ty Majeski. So, all sorts of drama, a brilliant way to start the day. The fans here in Road America getting a joy here to start the day off. What should be a brilliant day's racing here. Perfect conditions, it's dry, it had been wet earlier on, and Ty Majeski in the Newman Wax 00 takes victory in TA2. My thanks to Jake Dallenberg. Dallenberg? Or Dollenbach even? I'll try that again. But well done to Ty Majeski. And yeah, that was about as good a restart as I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff for the TA2 class. And the race was so close the entire run.
We apologize again for the technical difficulties. Nothing we can do about that. That sort of stuff happens. And of course, we'll be back with TA3, TA4, and the TA race. But that concludes our TA2.